6 Snapchat horror street stories. The sun had just dipped behind the pine-covered hills of Whispering Pines, a secluded town in northern Oregon, when the first snap came through. It was a blurry photo, a shadowy figure in the background. No one had seen him when the picture was taken. That night, 5 friends arrived at a lakeside cabin for their yearly weekend trip. Only 3 would leave. Mara, a sharp-tongued photographer with shoulder-length blonde hair, led the group. Beside her was Josh, her childhood friend who never took anything seriously. Ava, a quiet redhead with a deep love for true crime podcasts. And then there was Dean and Riley, the couple, who argued more than they kissed. It started innocently. Mara opened a snap from an unknown username, Smiling Green. It was a picture of their cabin, taken from the tree line. No message. They laughed it off. Josh even replied with a goofy face. But more snaps followed, each one closer. Each one time-stamped at moments they were all inside, unaware. The power went out around midnight. Riley swore she saw something or someone standing by the dock. A green glow, a smiling mask, and a dark hood that seemed to swallow all light. They rushed to lock the doors, but the snaps didn't stop. Now they were being taken inside the house. Angles no one could reach. Ava disappeared first. Her phone was found face down on the floor, still open to Snapchat. The last image, the masked figure, standing right behind her. Dean tried to call for help, but every number he dialed looped back to his own voicemail. They began to realize the figure wasn't trying to get in. He was trying to get them to look. Every time someone opened a snap, one step closer to disappearing. And Mara had just opened another. The final scene showed Josh hiding under the floorboards, breath shaking, trying not to blink. From above, a snap lit up his screen. The caption read, "Your turn." Cut to black, the sound of a snap being sent. But the story isn't over. Not yet. The account Smiling Green is still active, still watching. And the next snap might be for you. 2:41 a.m. An empty highway outside Tillamook, Oregon, stretched under a silver fog. A single figure stood beneath the flickering road sign, cloaked in black, face hidden behind a pale green mask. The smile never changed. The figure raised a phone. Snap sent. Mara opened her eyes to static. The screen of her phone buzzed again and again. Josh was gone. Ava was gone. But the snaps kept coming. Same user, same filter, same grin. The cabin was no longer safe. She and Dean had taken the only car and left at dawn. But every mile forward felt like retracing a circle. Same gas station. Same trees. Same snap. They were trapped. Not in the woods, but in something deeper. Something watching them. At a rest stop, they met a girl, Eliza raven-haired, covered in dirt, barefoot. She said she had seen him too. Said she had been trying to escape for days, but every snap pulled her back to the beginning. Mara didn't believe her until she checked Eliza's phone. The last snap was Mara herself, asleep in the cabin, taken from the ceiling. Dean suggested smashing the phones. But the moment he threw his into the creek, his reflection in the water smiled back at him. Green mask. Same hollow stare. That night, they took shelter at an old church nearby. Broken windows. Dust. Candles still burning. As if someone had just been there. A snap came through on Eliza's device. It was her face, but her eyes were not her own. And standing behind her, hand on her shoulder, was the figure. Not captured, not still. Moving in the image. Later, as they explored the back rooms, they found dozens of photos. Polaroids pinned to the walls. Each one of a different person. All with that same mask, faintly visible somewhere in the background. Mara turned to ask Dean something, but he was gone. Only his phone on the floor, screen open to Snapchat. The timer ticked down. 3, 2, 1. A new snap sent itself. Alone, Mara and Eliza fled through the woods. The deeper they ran, the clearer the whispers became. Not words. Breathing. Behind trees. Between branches. Eliza screamed when she saw him ahead on the trail, head tilted, one foot hovering just above the ground, like he never needed to touch it. He didn't chase. He waited. Because he knew. They always circled back. By dawn, they arrived at the cabin again. Full loop. Same place. Same door, creaking open on its own. Eliza broke. Locked herself in the bathroom. Mara received a snap from her seconds later. A photo. Eliza's face. Wide-eyed. Pressed against the mirror. Behind her. In the fogged glass. The smile. When Mara burst in, the room was empty. The mirror cracked. Her name etched into the glass from the inside. And then the power cut. The final scene plays in silence. Mara, breathing heavily, wanders the cabin with only her phone light. She finds the same Polaroids. But now her face is in one. Just taken. Still warm. The last snap of the night comes through. A photo of Mara's hand holding the phone, but not from her perspective. The angle is too high. Taken from above. Taken right now. The green glow begins behind her. Light bends. Air turns thick. The figure stands at the doorway, no longer needing the screen. His presence real. And Mara realizes, it's never been the phone. It's the viewer. And once you see him, he sees you. 4:12 a.m. A cracked mirror. Cold wind curling through the broken cabin windows. Mara didn't move. The final snap still glowed on her phone. And her phone, but seen from behind, from above, as if someone or something was there with her, breathing inches from her neck. She didn't turn around. Outside, the forest was silent. Too silent. No insects, no birds, just that deep, humming static, building slowly from within the trees, like a frequency only fear could hear. Mara stepped back. The floorboards groaned underfoot. Her breath fogged the air, and the snap timer restarted, unprompted. 3, 2, 1. Flash. New snap. This time, she wasn't even in the frame. A photo of the bathroom. Eliza's cracked mirror. The name etched deeper than before. Letters now pulsing faint green, as if alive. Mara tried calling Dean. The phone rang once, then a click, then silence. But faintly, over the speaker, she heard him breathing, then whispering, then someone else breathing too. She dropped the phone. It didn't shatter, just blinked. And from the screen emerged a face. Not on it, inside it. The mask. His mask. Twisting slowly into a grin, as if watching her response in real time. She ran. The forest never ended. Trees repeating. The trail always turning. But something had changed. The shadows weren't still anymore. They leaned when she moved. Turned as she passed. The deeper she went, the more the forest felt like film, grain blurry, distorted, artificial. At the clearing, an old trailer sat collapsed in the mud. Its door wide open. Inside, someone had drawn circles on every wall. Black soot. Charcoal. Even ink. In the center, a phone lay, with the screen lit, a snap playing on loop. The image. Mara sleeping. Taken tonight. She stared at the screen, horrified, and in her reflection on the phone's surface the faint glimmer of green eyes behind her. She turned. No one. Only the trees swaying slightly, like they had just been still a second ago, like something had just moved. And then, A voice, not loud, not whispered, directly in her ear. Delete me. Mara gasped and stumbled back. The voice wasn't from her phone. It came from inside her mind. Clear, commanding, but she couldn't obey. The app was still there, permanently fixed to the home screen. Unmovable. Undeletable. Back at the cabin, she found the door open again. The Polaroids were gone. Every surface was clean, except the table, where a new snap had printed itself on old photo paper. It showed her, standing just outside. Not from earlier, from now. Her phone buzzed, a video. It was Dean, but his eyes were blank. The mask had fused into his skin, not worn but grown. He mouthed something silently, over and over, and behind him Mara could see herself. Watching the screen, the feed looped, seamlessly, as if someone was stitching time together to trap her in this moment forever. Then the lights flickered. She heard steps upstairs. Heavy, slow. Then laughter. Not loud, childlike, and wrong. She climbed the stairs, each creak echoing like a scream. At the top, a door opened on its own. Inside, the mirror from earlier had returned, unbroken, but her reflection wasn't alone. The masked figure stood beside her, perfectly still, hands folded, watching. Her reflection turned to look at him, but she hadn't moved. The reflection wasn't hers anymore. She backed away. The air thickened. Her vision pulsed. On her phone, dozens of snaps came in all at once. Different angles, different times, but all of them were of her. Her in the woods. Her asleep. Her watching. And in every frame, the figure was closer. She tried to scream, but her voice cracked into static. Outside, the force began to shift. Trees bent unnaturally, forming a path lined with glowing screens. Phones, tablets, old monitors, all lit, all playing the same snap on loop. Her, standing, frozen, the mask, behind her. She stepped into the path, each step darker than the last. At the end, an old television sat in the dirt, flickering. A single word burned across the screen. Welcome. From behind the screen, the mask emerged. Not a person, a presence. It stepped out, unblinking, untouched by light. It tilted its head, raised one finger, pointed to her phone, then pointed to her heart. A new snap appeared. No image, just a caption. You're the story now. The forest exploded in green light. Her phone vibrated violently. The screen cracked, and then silence. Cut to black. The final moment is not Mara's fate. It is yours. A snap notification appears on a viewer's screen. No sender, just an image. Mara, standing, still, masked,